I have two questions for you.
Okay.
Do you like space?
Yeah.
There was the other one, which I don't know anymore.
It doesn't matter. If it's space, let's go. Whatever.
It's actually unknown question, I would say. This is the review for the board game Planet Unknown, the good and bad about it.
By the end of this video, you will know if this planet is for you.
We have 6 burning questions that we will answer in this video, but before we do that, Giannis, what is this game Planet Unknown all about?
It's about the future. In the future, we will land giant, huge polyominoes on different planets.
Okay.
And terraform them.
Sounds reasonable. And your task in this game is to use this planet and build it with these tiles as good as you can and progress the humanity. And whoever does that better wins.
Just get a new planet that we can run out of resources over centuries and then look. The good news is there are many planets, right?
Many planets.
How do you win? You try to get the most points. You get points for filling out your planet by columns or lines. You get points for secret objectives that you potentially have at the beginning of the game. You get points for open objectives that you compete with your neighbors. You get points for space poop?
Space poop or meteorites.
But it looks like something, a giant cow, space cow, just lays on your planet, just flies over. And then you have these little cleaning robots that go and clean up the space poop. You score points pretty much so for a ton of things.
Basically, wherever you see these money symbols, coin symbols, those are points. Whenever you place a tile on your planet, there's always going to be 2 symbols there. That means that you can push your tracks ahead by those symbols. So if you placed a green symbol here, you take the green cube and push it forward 1 space and get benefits for it.
So anything you do, you get points for. Well, most of the time. If you're the starting player, you turn this lazy Susan and you just decide which tile do you want. I want this one. And then everybody else gets the tile where their color tile is pointing to. And they have a choice between these 2 tiles. So you always have a little bit of choice even if you don't have a choice. Then you take your tile and you have to place it on the board. When you start out, it has to start from the edge of the planet. But later on, it has to touch at least another tile already on your planet. And that's just the way it goes. We each select a tile, place it on, move our technology trucks forward, do some extra actions possibly, and then the next player spins the lazy Susan, picks a tile, and so on and so forth until the game ends. And the game ends when either both places of one section are out of tiles, which happens pretty much so never, or when somebody can't place a tile on his planet, which happens pretty much so always.
The unique thing is that it's super quick to just get one of those tiles, place them, move your tracks, get bonuses for these things. Yes, there are superpowers on these sheets that you can unlock and then do more cool stuff. That's the way how you move this rover as well and collect the space poop and get more points for collecting space poop because you really want to collect that space poop and get those points. And we're gonna talk a lot more about this game in this video, so we should jump to the first question, which is...
Who would you get this for?
3, 2, 1. If you watch oddly satisfying videos, then this game is for you because it is oddly satisfying. Just taking these pieces and fitting them perfectly is just so satisfying, and getting those bonuses that then connect to other things and getting bonuses and cracking these planets because there are different planets in this game. Solving them is just really, really good. You'll always have this feeling of completion, I find.
For me, this game is for all the people who have saved all the cats and soon are the patches. Do you know who I'm referring to?
Patchworks and Isle of Cats.
Exactly. But if you know those 2 board games and you like those 2 board games, this is for you. I'm not gonna comment anymore. Just let's see what comes up next in the video. You'll know why. What are the best things about this game? My third best thing you already stole in the intro when you were describing who this game is for. It's Feel Good Corporation. Everything you do moves you ahead. You take a tile, there's always choice between 2 tiles, and one of those is definitely going to be good for you. You're going to place it in, it's going to move the tracks ahead, it's good for you, you're filling out the space, it's good for you. I mean, I never feel like I'm stuck in this game. Sure, the last couple of turns when you need a specific tile, because everything's already filled out, but that's like over so quick that you don't even dwell on it.
My third best thing is these resource tracks, because this is a large part of the game. We just have talked a lot about placing these tiles and putting them and that being satisfying. But to be honest, I think this is my favorite part of it, because this is what gives it life, those interesting combos and leveling them up. This really makes it not just this comforting tile-laying game, but also a bit of like a puzzle, and I really enjoy that.
So my second thing is going to be quick and accessible all around. This is one of those games that I've taught to kids, I've taught to non-gamers, I've taught to gamers, and it's just everyone gets it. It's quick. We can start playing within minutes because the setup is quick. The rules are straightforward and everyone does it at the same time. So again, just there's no downtime.
Multiple sides. My second thing is that all of these planet boards and these resource tracks are all the same. The first time you play usually, but on the other sides of them there are unique planets, and each one of them is completely unique with a set of layouts that makes you play completely different than the previous time. And on the other sides of these resource tracks there's completely other resource tracks that work completely differently.
Best thing about this game is, let me read it correctly with all the exclamation marks, so many planets! Plus the corporation boards. Yeah, and that you can mix them and match and just everything you said. I mean, while you were talking, I was reading, I don't know, this corporation. This looks amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Now you know why the game is called Planet Unknown.
Yeah.
Because there's so many unknown planets to play yet with.
My best thing about this game is Lazy Susan. Because what enables this game to be quick is the Lazy Susan in the middle of the table. We have played other polyomino games.
Tetris piece games.
I have played other games with these Tetris pieces, but they've always been a bit messy. This is what saved it for me, and cool system and way to fix a problem that not a lot of people knew there was, but there was, and they fixed it, and it's really, really cool.
Why this game might not be for you?
Well, to be honest, there's not a lot, but number one is Lazy Susan. And
wait. What? This is why this is not for them.
Because Lazy Susan is fantastic and what enables this game to be this quick and cool, but there's some minor issues with this game. For example, it doesn't have a lid, so I had a situation where all of these tile pieces just like slid out, and talking about the quick setup, it wasn't that quick at that point. And another thing is shuffling these pieces before your
I don't ever do that.
Exactly, but it doesn't feel right. Basically what happens is when you end your game, you will maybe use half of these tiles, I think. And then if you are just as lazy as we are, then you just take those pieces from the map and put them back where they belong.
I have a slightly bigger thing, but it's still, I think it's gonna be small. It's deluxe. So this is the deluxe version we have here. So what's the difference between the ordinary version is that we have plastic minis for the pods and the cow poop, space cow poop, sorry, not ordinary poop. And also there are some extra planets and extra corporations in here that are not in the ordinary version. Depending on how much you want to go into it. I mean, these, it doesn't, whatever.
No, don't care.
Those extra planets and extra corporations might be at the decider. Depends when and how much you play this.
Excitement. This game is very calm and like chill. You just take those pieces, do all those things. There's not a lot of interaction, I would say. Are these that you fight for.
There's no interaction.
But basically, otherwise, there's no interaction. And what I realized after each of my games was that I had a really good time with myself. The biggest interaction, I guess, is other people turn this.
Screaming at you. Turn this, no, turn this. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's calm, relaxing experience and not that much excitement.
Okay, mine is corp boards. It's gonna be right here. I played this with my kids quite a bit. And these are double layered. And then when you move these up, you know, they should stay in place, right? But still, it somehow is very easy to knock them out. I always want to know what happens in my board games. I want to know who's where. Did he move it correctly? Is it there? And sometimes these get knocked over so easily that I'm like, hey, are you sure you're so high up? Because you can always count and kind of do that, but I want to trust people.
So what you're saying is, if you're as clumsy as you are, then this game is not for you.
No. How long is the honeymoon?
How long is the honeymoon? 3, 2, 1. That friend. And what I mean with that friend is there are those friends whose phone number you have on your phone book. you're really glad you have that phone number there, right? But you never really call him. It's not a tough one, it's not one to you really like crack, more calm and fun game, yet it's also not really a filler, it's not that quick. But I'm really glad that it's in my shelf that I can pull out from time to time.
6 planets and 6 boards is what you get in the basic version. In the deluxe you get even more. And it's just forget honeymoon, it's honey planets. But that comes down to if you like the basic gameplay, which I think you should know if you played any of the other Polyomino games. And if you're fine with the solitary experience. But I think the solitary is what it makes so accessible and easy to play. Let's move on to what is the best alternative.
2, 1, Project L. Project L is also a polynomial game where you have a bunch of tasks, actually.
I have a suggestion. Let's call these poly tiles.
Poly tiles, yeah. From now on, always poly.
So it's also a poly tile game, yeah?
So it's also a poly type game. What you do there is you have these tasks, boards of tasks that you can take up and then fill with these pieces.
Like tiny planets.
It's also very satisfying, very calm. Yet there's also a lot of stress involved because it's a race game, because whenever those tasks run out, the game ends and you can just quickly take them. But if you don't fill those tasks, you get minus points. And also this visually very pleasing game, more of a filler than this one. Yet there's a lot of strategy and I felt like really good alternatives where you could switch between these two and have a good time either way.
Mine's going to be Cascadia that I mentioned before. Cascadia is also a tile laying game, but it's not a poly type game. Essentially, you have these little hexes that you place down, you get animals and you score for creating your board in a certain way. You want these animals to be there, these animals next to mountains, and so on and so forth. And each player creates their own board. So it's also kind of like this multiplayer solitaire experience, but you do score points for some things if you have more than somebody else and so things like that. But it's also very accessible, it's very simple, it's much cheaper, and it is different enough not to be similar to this. Isle of Cats, a bit more complex. Let's move to the final rating.
3, 2, 1. Really good.
Wow, you surprised me. I thought it would be higher for you.
Really enjoyed this game and almost everything about it. It's just quick, calming. As I said, I'm not maybe that excited to put it in the fantastic yet. I don't have anything to really say bad about it. I think you're gonna really love it and enjoy your time with it. The planet boards are fantastic, the tiles are fantastic, there's a lot to crack. Really fun and beautiful game.
It's a must-have game for me. I always wanted to find my polyomino game. Sorry, the poly type of game, and this is it, and mostly because it's so easy to teach to everybody else and get it on the table. Just love this game. It's in my top 20 of all time. Anyway, let us know what is your favorite polyomino game or which one we should try, because we haven't tried that many, to be honest, right?
The truth is out there.
I feel like I look like a server. So, I present you with our code. The truth is out here and here and here.
It was supposed to be a spaceship, and now it looks like food.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying our videos, you can do that even more times. We have one extra video each month just for our Patreons. For example,
do you want me to name what the...
Yes, that's exactly why I said, for example.
Oh, sorry. For example, games we want to buy, our biggest regrets when buying games.
And 10 to 20 all-time games, because you only have seen 1
11
to 10.
to 20.
That's exactly what I meant. Anyways, become our Patreon and you will see all that extra content. You will have secret messages, you have Discord server and tons of good benefits. And most importantly, you're gonna support us making these videos. How long can we handle this? I don't know. We need your help.